Hi everybody, it's Rob and this is the image training course video 15, and this is the area of the images, how to recrop the images to the correct size that you need so that you're not wasting you don't have to recompress, etc. from there. Now, first up, it's important because your website will load faster. And this, by the way, that I'm teaching you here will also pitch up in my summary at the end video here at the bottom. So when I get to showing you step by step, you'll see why you need to do this, and you'll see every time. Get your image, edit as necessary, resize it, the compression and the width to suit your website, rename it, do your meta description, upload it. That's all you have to do. So we are now in the bam bam buddy ba ba buddy beep somewhere here. Image resizing. Okay, so really I have no clue where I am in here anymore. Here we go, size by area on site. So I've got this. If you're using Divi, and you're welcome to just pause this and take a screenshot of this, because it's close enough to work for most websites, and that is 1, 2, 3 column. I see I don't have 6 columns. I've got stuff down here. Okay, so what you've got to do is, this is bad news, is if you've got an image you're going to use on your website, let's say it's this one. Okay, so let's go back to the original. This one, right? I'm gonna look at that. There's your dimensions, 4,000 by 6,000, right? And I don't need it that big. I only need it either 1920 by 1980. So you see, so these are the sizes you'd need to make it work for your website. Now, the bad news is that in truth, when you've got an image you're going to use often or more than once on your website, so let's just say this is it, or this image, doesn't matter, whatever it is, you should actually take it into Photoshop or somewhere and put it through the mill by making one of each of these. I wish I could show you my client work, because with my clients I do this. I will give them a full screen, a half page. I normally do half, third and quarter, and then warn them that if they need more than that, they must give me more money. And to be honest, you're looking at 3 to 4 hours. You see, here's how you should do images, right? Because this is an evil job, meaning that it's boring, and sorry, let me say how you should do images. You should find the 50 images that you think will work beautifully on your website in whatever form. These are images without text on them for now. So let's just say I'm in the travel business. Let me just get this out the way, and this image is just cool, right? So I'm going to put this up on my travel website time and time again, and I love it, right? So fine. What I would do is I'd take that image and put it through, I'd resize it to this full size, but to the width of a website. There might be times when I'm going to use it that it just keeps scrolling down. Okay. Then I'm going to crop it to that size, which is this one, and then one column, which is 1080, 795. I'm going to crop it to all of those if necessary, and not save any of them with images, sorry, with words, text, graphics, any other graphics, right? And that way I've got this folder with all my images, and then even worse, I'm going to then rename all those folders, those images, one by one, because let me show you. You need them to have, so sorry about all this work, guys. This is the right way to redo it. Okay, so let's go down to my summary. So you've taken 50 images, and you're going to resize them to all of these sizes, right? You're then going to take all of those that have been resized already and run them through compression, which is the video I've just finished, where you've shrunk it through tiny PNG, you've saved it as documents, whatever. You've got it down to the tiniest version of that image. Okay. And when you've done that, you now resave all of those images in a new folder. So now you've got 50 images that you started with. Each one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. You've got 300 images. I'm sorry. I really am sorry for this. 4 hours work. I've done it. You've now got 300 images that are correct size. You now go to the schlep of renaming them, doing the meta details and description for all of them, and then I keep them in a folder. I only use them. It doesn't help, and I've done this before, where I upload all 300 into my WordPress site, and then it's an evilness to find them. It's far easier to load it out of a folder when you've gone half page or 1/3 or whatever. Also, sometimes if you're reusing an image, you don't want to keep using the same image over and over again, because people start to think you don't have a clue how to. Okay, I said 50 images in the first place, but even still, if this image is one of your favorites and it keeps pitching up, people are going to think, you know. So if it's cropped to different views and different heights and different sizes, and that's pretty cool, right? Because it kind of shows them that it does look good, is different. Okay. So, having said that, I understand that I'm telling you that this is a huge amount of work to do, as I said down here. Because once you've got to this level, you've done 4 hours of work. But here's the cool part. 4 hours of work later, 50 really cool images that you found that you know are perfect for your website, okay? You would, in fact, let me go back to this website and use it as an example. I hope it's still open. It is. Right, so now Anderson Gift Store. In here, so sorry, this is, again, do as I say, don't do as I do. This business here is print on demand. We'll have training for you in the future, by the way. So can you see my hands? They're in a pattern here. Oh, seriously, I've got this like war going monk style. So this site is to sell Boston Terrier designed mugs, pillows, shower curtains, t-shirts, onesies, hoodies. There are 50 really cool products when you do print on demand properly. And over time, I will learn which of my designs sell and which ones just look like the dog got caught up in a shredder. Was it a chipper? I don't know. So, and that's fine. And then, so as my site evolves, so I will optimize my products in the perfect way. Every one of these products, by the way, should have their images done individually one by one, and that's why I showed you this as an example. So this image in here should be correctly optimized as per all my rules. So that means that every time you add a new product, you should be going to create a folder where the images are pre-done. In fact, give me a second, I'll show you my folder. You know I love to laugh at myself, so watch this. Inside of here is chaos. So that's the laugh at myself. So let's just go to images. Free. Somewhere here I will have an images. Well, this is embarrassing. I'm going to pause this because it's bad. Wow. Bit of a hectic interruption there, all sorts of stuff. Check the timer, there was a bit of a gap. So if you look in here, there's all these things that, what's a cartoon Bosty? So if you look, all my images, that's him, are in here as I saved them. That's why this folder, if you look, it says all mockups to be fixed. So basically I've got to go into here and find each one of these, and so let's just pick the pillow one. So the Bosty pillow, I love this one. So if you look, it looks like I fixed this, because if you go to extra large icons, there's all of these that I've saved and look huge, 1,4, 750. So these aren't saved enough. These are obviously not the ones I've put onto my website. So I'd have to go in here, choose which ones I want to put on the website, which I think I put this one up. And somewhere along the way, there will be the ones that I did save and put online. I'll be curious to see. But that's why this is fixed. So can you see? This is exactly, and by the way, they're still not correctly labeled and named, etc., etc. So somewhere down the line, I will have a folder that says resized, 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 resized and done, and the folders go kind of within each other. So I'm just confusing you here, I think. But so the reality is that if you stick to my system, you will have this image done over and over and over again. Okay, now the resizing of it. So now we're talking about width and breadth. So the obvious one is to take, where is this thing? Is to take this and then do it through Photoshop. It's by far the best. So I would take this image, let me close it and get back to my page. I'd take the big one and I'd open it into Photoshop. Okay, now remember it's still a huge one, right? And then I would start with File, New, and I'd go to the 510 by 510 size. Let's see, I've got it here by 510 by 500, but that's fine. You'd set this up to 510 by, okay, it's going to let me choose this. Oh, stop it. So now I've got exactly a square one. I keep it to 672. I don't need, remember I'm trying to reduce all of this, and now this is the 510 is half page. Yeah, half a column size. I then take my big one and I drop it into there, which is going to be huge. Check it out. And now you've got this mission. So I probably wouldn't take the big one, by the way. I would have reduced it, because this mission over 8 different sizes enough to really bring tears to your eyes. But I would reduce this thing down. By the way, those of you that do know Photoshop, I apologize for being such a beginner here. I do a lot of stuff with Photoshop. I've done a lot of the same stuff, probably wrong, for 10 years, and I don't care enough to learn. I have a terrible stubborn streak in me, because my way does work, and it is what I know, and I have far too many other things to learn all the time to bother with making an issue about this one. So somewhere here I'm going to get the image that I did want. I'm going to put it into there where I want it, so that I've got a really cool image to use for my, well, whatever I think is really cool. And I'm going to crop it, so now I've got my 510 by 510, right? There's obviously other things I can do within Photoshop. That's not going to happen. And then at that point, then I'd click File and I'd do Save As or Export. Remember, I normally choose the lazy route. So now we're just going to call this 510 by 510 because I need to know which one it is. I'm not saving it as a Photoshop for now. I'd go down and save it as a JPEG, and I'd click Save, and it's going to ask me big, small, medium, and I don't remember if I'm not going to get too snazzy. I'm going to kind of go medium because I need to know that it's still going to look good on my website, and then it's done. So that's how I'd resize these one by one and until it's done. While I've got them open, by the way, let's just go and have a look at how this came out. So while I've got this open, so okay, so it's still pretty clear, but it's probably not very small. Oh, 20 kilobits, perfect, lovely. I don't have to fiddle with that again. How beautiful is that? So other than the renaming and whatever, now we're talking about resizing. So that's the one way with Photoshop, because now when you're using Photoshop or GIMP or whatever other one you've got, if you haven't got Photoshop, you would have created this list from this list and put together all of these that you like. Now, if you heard me earlier tell you that you do sometimes want to have different versions, so you could, for example, put this up there and do Save As 510 510. You could go and skid this whole thing bigger so that you've got a bigger jet. You just have to check the quality is okay when it's done. It's probably okay. And you save that. So now you've got this background with the jet in also. Oh, you can even flip it over. I'd have to make it smaller for that, but let's try. So that on other days you've got the jet crisscrossing from here into the darkness, whatever you want to do, and you click that and you click apply and you say 510 510, and so you build up stock, all done in one day's work. Well, 4 hours work is what I keep telling you, and you've got all of this cool stock that you can now reuse over and over again for whatever it is that you want to use. Okay, so for now let me do file, save as. Now remember, I've already got a 510 by 510, right? I love this laziness. It gives me that when I click it, but I'll then just give it a number 1. And again down here to JPEG, I'll leave it at medium, which will come up as medium now, and I click OK. Let's go and see what happens if I go to max, by the way. So because the 28 is tiny, and a better image would be better. Remember, it's already a bit iffy here. So that's what I would do to resize it as I go. Okay, now that's resize system number 1. I'm going to leave Photoshop open just in case. Resize number 2 would be, let's go to the big one. Yeah, so I right click it, I open with Microsoft. Oh, Canva would work too, so I'm not even going to show you how to do it in Canva, because you'd be opening it into a pre-done size in Canva. Pretty cool. So I'd go straight to edit pictures. I'd do I'm doing resize this time, and I want to go to as nearest to 510 as I can. So I do this here, and I keep an eye on that number down there, and it goes grrr, and when it gets near to 500, I'm happy. So somewhere down the line it'll go there, 480, click it back up, Rob, back down, 510, 520 is close enough. And I've now got a resized version of that, and I can save it as it is. So let's do save as for now. That's really tatty saving, my bad. This is why I shouldn't be allowed. This is why it's cool that I can work on my own sites, and I don't have to focus on really being correct for client sites. Now, the other way around is to edit it again. Remember, I'm on 510 here, and hit compress and save it as a document. It's a 4 megs, it's huge. Save as down to 82, bingo. So now I've got a file, save as, just take this down and do Microsoft Office web version. And we'll have to look at it quickly before I forget which is which of course is typical. So now we've got this version, which is 25 kilobits, which was okay. It's perfectly okay. So you click on this, and we've now got a bigger image. It's not 510 square, right? But it's perfectly okay to use. But it'll work on half page nicely, as will 25. This one's even tinier, and it's still okay. So you've got to put it on your website and eyeball it and say, yeah, that's really bad. Oh, there have been times when I've had really bad. So when you've done all of this and you've now got this whole collection of images, you would then go into our next, I think it's in the next video. Sorry, I have to stop and think. What have I got here? Image compression, we've done area on site. We're on video 15. I'm gonna skip these, renumber them. We've basically covered 1, 2, 3, 4 image videos. I'm cutting back on the videos. Yeah, so now it's meta tags. I'm gonna cover all of those in one video for you. So let's just double check on here what I've done and said I've done, and so as you know where I'm at in here. Resizing. So no, that's my shortcut later. Okay, so we've just resized here. We're going to cover all of this shot, I think, for image SEO next. Okay. Catch you next video. Cheers.